we'll start with the prayers as usual. Um, so these are the Mangalacharan prayers. So why this is called Mangalacharan? Because these prayers bring all auspiciousness. And that's why whenever we start any session, we do a Mangalacharan prayers to invoke the auspiciousness, and by invoking the blessings of previous acharyas, 6 Goswamis. Like the first prayer is prayer for Guru. Second one is Rupa Goswami, who was the, you can say, one of the close associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Okay. Then this is the prayer for all the 6 Goswamis who resided in Vrindavan. This is 500 years back. And they were given this task by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to rediscover all the places where like Lord Krishna performed Leela. So they were the ones. Before that, like 500 years before 500 years, nobody knew what is Vrindavan. It was all forest, and nobody used to go there. Like people who were residing there were there, but not like today's Vrindavan, where we can see so many Leela Sthalis, like we can see like Kalia Ghat and all that. So the 6 Goswamis were the ones who rediscovered uh, uh, all the places of Leela Sthali. So then we invoke the blessings of 6 Goswami. And this mantra, Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu, this is for Radharani. Then we go Radharani, and then not this one. No, Krishna. This is for Krishna, this is for Radharani, Tapt Kanchan Gaurangi. Okay. And this is for all the Vaishnavas all over the world. So in one mantra, we take blessings from all the Vaishnavas. Okay. And then this is Panch Tattva, which is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his associates. There are five of them, like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityanand Prabhu, Sri Advait, Gadadhar, Srivas Prabhu, and all others in that line of devotion. And then finally Hare Krishna mantra. So in these prayers, basically, we take the blessings and invoke the mercy of all the acharyas, Radha Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, everyone. That's why these are very wonderful prayers. So one of the requests which I will have is, like, in your life, if you can memorize these prayers and recite every day, it would be very, very, you will see a change. Like whenever you are in a difficulty or you need some help and you invoke these prayers and ask for help, definitely you will get. So let's start again. Om Jnanam Timrandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manojishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Sahaj Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Saganayam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijani Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakam He Krishna Karuna Deenbandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste Tapta Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhuvacha Patitana Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namne Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Vicharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyadi Shatarine Jai. So in terms of the chapter wise, I think we are done with chapter 3. And now we were all discussing about the practical applications, because if you recall, Bhagavad Gita talks about 5 subject matters, and we covered 3 of them already. We covered who are we as a jiva, jeev, soul. Then we covered who is Bhagwan, Paramatma, Ishwar. That's the second subject matter. And third, we talk about the karma, right? Karma yoga. That was a subject of chapter 3, karma, and everything to do with karma. What is the karma cycle? Why all the living entities are entangled in that karma cycle? It's how they are entangled, and what's the way out, right? Because karma, by its own action, by its own nature, binds one to the material world. But there is a specific type of karma which is called akarma. And Lord Krishna talks about that in this chapter 4, Transcendental Knowledge, about what is akarma. So there are 3 types of karmas: akarma, vikarma, and karma. Karma is anything which is in accordance with the Vedic scriptures, like which gives you a pious material benefit, positive material. That's akarma. So that's akarma. Vikarma, when we add vi, means prohibited. Any action which is prohibited by our shastras, that is called vikarma, and it brings a negative reaction. And akarma is any action which we do with the consciousness to please the Supreme Lord, like devotional service, chanting, reading Bhagavad Gita, anything to do where we have the consciousness which involves Lord Krishna and his devotees or his pastimes, anything. Because Lord Krishna, his pastimes, his name are non-different. It takes time to realize that, but at the theoretical level, we can understand there is no difference between seeing Lord Krishna face to face and taking his name. In fact, the glories of name are even higher than Lord Krishna. बोलते हैं ना, हरि से बड़ा हरि का नाम. Just by taking the name, everything is fulfilled. And we can see instances in our scriptures, like there are instances where people took the name of Krishna, and then the name itself delivered them or helped them and rescued them. The one instance which came to my mind is about in Mahabharata, when all of you have seen that past instance where Draupadi was in a helpless situation, right? And she asked for help from everyone in that Kuru Sabha. Like she asked, first she asked for Dhritarashtra. He was blind, he did not listen. Then he asked Bhishma Pitama, Dronacharya, Kripacharya, everyone was like helpless. And he asked his husbands also for help. Nobody could help. And then she tried to save herself by her own power, endeavor. But again, she could not help. But the moment in a helpless situation, when she just raised her hand and took the name and called Hari, Krishna, immediately name saved her by supplying unlimited amount of sari to Draupadi. So we see how by taking the shelter of the name, one can get relief. This was a pastime to show how the name of Lord Krishna is greater than Lord himself. Okay, so last class we discussed about this practical aspect. Let me share my screen again. And I sent you all these notes, I think yesterday or today morning I sent. So Yukta Vairagya is the practical application of Bhagavad Gita. And this principle of Yukta Vairagya is given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Rupa Goswami, who was the, you can say, one of the foremost disciples of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He gave the principle of Yukta Vairagya in a book called Nectar of Devotion. This book is purely talks about bhakti. Like Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna speaks about all the different paths like Karma Yoga, then there is a Jnana Yoga, Dhyan Yoga, and ultimately he glorifies Bhakti Yoga. And then from then on, and then he also, there is a chapter on universal form of Lord Krishna. So, but this book, Nectar of Devotion or Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, he only talks about Bhakti. And in that, he talks about the principle of Yukta Vairagya, which is very well suited for we as a householders, because what it says is that we do not have to leave anything. All we have to do is dovetail all our belongings and all our desires in the service of Krishna. So whatever belongings, whatever qualities you have, used in the service of Krishna, right? Someone very good musician, right? He can sing, or he can play piano, or he can sing very nicely. Now, previously, he may be singing for his own enjoyment or for the enjoyment of public, and he may be singing film songs or whatever, right? But as soon as he starts singing for the pleasure of Lord Krishna and starts playing bhajans, starts doing Harinam Kirtan, his talent is now being used in the service of the Lord, and it becomes a devotional service, right? Same, a painter, very good painter, he may be painting so many pictures, sceneries. The moment he starts painting the pictures of the Lord or his pastimes, that becomes a devotional service. So you can do anything, like all our creativities. For example, like those who are in software, IT, now if you use your skills, your IT skills in the service of Lord Krishna, then your creativity, your job, or whatever you learned is being used in the service of the Lord, then it becomes a devotional service, right? So you name any profession and you can easily mold that in the service of Krishna. Like in our congregation, there is one person, I think few of you know, Vidur, like he's a physiotherapist. Now he's using his skills, physiotherapy skills in the service of Krishna by treating devotees, and some devotees who do not have means to afford his services, he do it free of cost. So this is Vaishnav Seva. So Lord becomes very, very happy when he sees that his devotees are helping other devotees, and that makes him happy. Give you an analogy. If you have to make a mother happy, so if you serve his children very nicely, the mother will automatically becomes happy, right? But at the same time, if we harm his children or her children, sorry, then no matter what you can do to appease mother, she will never be happy and she will never forgive. Same is the relationship. So each one of us has a unique relationship with the Lord, right? It's just that we are right now have forgotten that relationship, but each one of us has a special relationship with the Lord. So the moment we start helping others in reestablishing their relationship with the Lord, or helping them to progress on the path of bhakti, or helping them in any way, right? The Lord becomes very, very happy by seeing that endeavor, because he sees, yeah, here is the soul, here is the person who is going out of his way to help others. And that act makes him very happy. And at the same time, it brings a lot of, you can say, humbleness in our heart. It gives you a sense of joy when you help others, because everyone here wants to help them. That is okay. But the moment you go a little bit out of your comfort zone and help others, that's what makes the Lord happy, right? So last time we gave some practical applications of how to do. So the basic principle is, whatever you do in life, just see that I am doing this for the pleasure of Krishna and his devotees. And if we follow that, then means we are practicing Bhagavad Gita. We are on the path of Yukta Vairagya. We are basically practicing devotional service, because as a Grihastha householder, we cannot be in the temple every day. We cannot be doing practical, meaning the deity worship or this every day, because we all of has job. And Grihasthas are the ones whom Lord has given this responsibility to basically fulfill the needs of all other three ashrams. So Brahmachari, Vanprasth, and Sannyasis, these are the other three ashrams, right? So they don't work, but they rely on Grihasthas to also make or meet their daily needs, right? Brahmachari is Grihastha. There are 4 ashrams, right? Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanprasth, Sannyas. So Grihasthas is the only ashram where like people earn for they go for a work and earn. Other 3 ashrams, people are normally leading a renounced life, or a life where they don't earn anything, or they don't have even family ties, right? So then this Yukta Vairagya becomes important for us, because we have a lot of engagements in our day-to-day life. Like we cannot be sitting in a secluded place or sitting on our own and continuously chanting names, because we have to definitely go and work. We also have to have, once you have a family, you have to have a lot of things. You have to have a house, you have to have a vehicle, you have to pay for your education of the children, you have to have all things. But if we acquire all these things with the consciousness that this is for my enjoyment, my family's enjoyment, my children's enjoyment, then that is not bhakti. That consciousness actually binds one to the material world, because now you are trying to enjoy, and definitely that you won't be able to enjoy. Like you can only enjoy material things up to a specific thing and a specific standard. Like beyond that, you won't feel. Just give you an example that no matter how big your house is, right? But for sleeping, you just need 6 by 6 foot space or a bed, right? Now, if you sleep on a golden bed, or if you sleep on a wooden bed, or if you sleep on a simple bed, the amount of, you can say, satisfaction which you give, or amount of energy, I would say, which you get after getting up in the morning is same, right? So a golden bed will not make you sleep better. In fact, it may create more anxiety, because you will always be thinking, okay, this is the golden bed of gold. Someone may steal it, and someone may steal it, and then you will be always in anxiety. So after a certain level of material standard, whatever extra, if one endeavors to acquire, it actually brings anxiety rather than any satisfaction, because people are always having this anxiety of losing something. Now, if someone does not have anything to lose, then he will always be in a bliss, right? You say, like, whatever is given to me is by the will of Lord. If he wants to take away, that's his wish. If he wants to give me, that's his wish. So I'm not the owner of any of this thing. My only job is to work in for the pleasure of the Lord, and engage everything in the pleasure of the Lord. So then the devotee will always be in a happiness. Because you will never find people who are there is no, what I want to say, like there is no correlation between the amount of happiness and the amount of material opulence which you may have. In fact, after a certain point, the more material opulence brings anxiety, and it brings instead of bringing happiness, it actually brings distress. Okay, so that's the point which we have to see, because sometimes there are situations in life where someone has this opportunity. Like when we come to the path of bhakti, Maya Devi, who is a servant of Lord Krishna, she does a test. So she will endure one by giving us a lot of opportunities to engage in the service in the Maya. Like there are a lot of situations will come in the life of devotee where there is always 2 paths. One path you have to choose Krishna, and other path you have to choose Maya Devi, right? And she will give you an option, lucrative option. And every path, every time we have to choose Krishna. So the moment you fall for Maya Devi, that's it, like you will forget Krishna, right? There are only two paths. One is to serve Krishna. If anyone is not serving Krishna, then he's automatically serving Maya. Okay, so we gave this example that we have to turn our houses into a temple, and then whatever we spend on our houses, it becomes not the spending on our house, it's become the spending on Krishna's temple, right? If you want to buy a house, bigger house, if you can afford it, then there is no problem, right? You have to set up an altar, do the worship of Lordship, install a DT or not DT. If you can't afford DT or not there, then even pictures work. There is no difference between worshipping pictures and the DT form. And also on special occasions, invite and serve Vaishnavas in your home and hold spiritual programs glorifying the Lord. The other day I was hearing, there was this Prabhu who came from Mayapur. He was saying, when one invites Vaishnava in his home, just by feeding prasadam to that Vaishnava and serving him, he gets delivered. He gets the benefit. His 20 generations get delivered if he can invite. So inviting pure devotees, Vaishnavas, if you get opportunity, invite them at your home, take their blessings, take their advice, and also hold spiritual programs. Like there are certain months where you can conduct programs, or on your special occasions like birthdays, anniversaries, or any other, you can always do programs. That way, now your home, instead of being used for your enjoyment or for doing a party, you are basically turning that home to a temple where all the devotees of the Lord are invited and you are serving the Vaishnavas. So that action becomes now bhakti. Okay, so then whatever you spend on your home, right, you are spending for the pleasure of the Lord, right? So this is how we have to change our consciousness from the material consciousness to Krishna consciousness. Same like children, like everyone has so much attachment to their children, and we all work hard and meet their needs. But if you raise our children in a Krishna conscious way from childhood, then it's very easy. Like then we are actually serving Krishna. Why? How? Because we are giving an opportunity to our children to practice this spiritual way of life and making them devotees and making them responsible citizens. This is a service. Because even let's say if we have two children, and at the end of the day, all those two children become a devotee, then your job that you are helping Krishna, or you are helping your children to go one step closer to Krishna. Our Shastras actually say that one should not become parent unless one can deliver your dependents, right? One should not become even a teacher unless you can deliver your dependents. So like that, Shastras instructs that parents has this responsibility of taking care of their dependents and then delivering them. Like, and husband has the responsibility of even delivering the wife and the children. And Shastra says wife, by just faithfully, if the husband is a nice devotee, then just wife, but just by serving his family, and the husband will get the same benefit as husband, and all of them get delivered. So like that. So, and then same goes with car, any other material belonging. If you engage in the service of Krishna and help the devotees, help the needy ones, then it becomes the Krishna conscious activity, bhakti. Okay, like all of us work. So if we give a portion of our hard-earned money, hard-earned earnings in the service of Krishna by donating to a temple for prasad distribution, or for book distribution, or for even temple building, then our whatever job we are doing 8 hours, that becomes bhakti, bhajan. Because in today's world, nobody is giving any money. Like temples are being run on donations. All of us know, on donations of the devotees. In the Vedic times, the king used to be Krishna conscious. King used to be the devotee, and that way the society was perfect, because king used to consult the priest, head priest, and king used to be, because he was devotee, then automatically a part of king's wealth will go in the running of the temple, right? But in today's society, we like normally there is no such support or so no such means of getting any support from the government or like, right? So temples are on their own, and then they just run on the donation of people. But again, one thing is that Krishna does not accept service from anyone and everyone. Those who are very, very fortunate, they were the only ones who are able to donate for the Krishna's cause. Prabhupada used to say we can approach anyone and everyone for let's say, 2 years back, 1 year back, we were building a temple in Milton. Now we had a temple, so we were doing fundraising. So I read a quote from Prabhupada where he say you can approach anyone and everyone for donation, right? From our side, we don't discriminate whether we go to this and that. But he says that those who are very, very fortunate, Krishna will give that guidance only to them to donate for his cause, because he does not accept service from everyone. So Krishna is sitting in everyone's heart. So when we approach a person, they say, Prabhu, can you donate? We are building a temple. So Krishna is also sitting in that person's heart. So if Krishna wants to accept service or donation from him, from within, he will guide that person. Okay, yes, give it for this cause. And then he will give. If Krishna does not sanction, then he will tell him from within that don't give. And then XYZ, we will have excuse, that person will have excuse that don't give. And then he will not give. So like that. So this is again a very, very, you can say, fortunate situation if one can give a portion of its hard-earned money in the service of Krishna, because ultimately everything belongs to Krishna. We are just a temporary enjoyer or temporary occupier of whatever belongings we had. And that too are a very short duration of 70, 80 years when we are present on this earth, right? Now, in the scheme of billions and billions or trillions of years, if we think, 80 years is very insignificant. Like today, I'm occupying one house for, let's say, another for 30, 40 years. And I consider myself that I am the owner of this house. But in reality, I am not, because before me, someone else was living on this land, and before him, someone else was maybe living, right? And after I am gone, someone else will continue living. So how can I claim that this belongs to me? Because eternally, everything belongs to Krishna. So we are just a temporary occupier. And the problem is that with that temporary occupation of 30, 40 years, people become so attached to these material things that they don't want to let go. People used to fight over the piece of land, two brothers fighting for ancestral home, and then one brother killing other brother or going to court. This is all not required, right? But people do not have that understanding yet, that this is all temporary. And we do not have to spend too much of time in these endeavors. In Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a chapter where small Prahlad Maharaj tells his schoolmates that whatever good things or whatever material opulence or material things which we are destined, which we are supposed to get, we will automatically get it. We will automatically get it without doing any endeavor. Like the way we get automatic miseries in our life. Nobody invites miseries, nobody invites hardships, but it comes automatically. Similarly, all the good things also, material good things will automatically come. So one should not endeavor too hard to earn or to acquire material things, because there is a quota which is destined for all of us based on our previous karmas, and then we get it. So nobody has to think about. That's why if you see exalted devotees, they don't worry even about where they will get their food. They have so much belief, so much faith on Krishna, that Krishna will not keep me hungry. If he can feed a big elephant daily and elephant won't die, then I just need 2 chapatis, little rice, dal would be provided. You will see people like that who are in renounced order, they don't even worry about from where the next meal will come. Krishna will provide. So like that. So we had to have that firm faith that no matter how adverse situation may be, Krishna is at my side and he will provide. All I have to do is just focus my energy and divert my energy in improving my day-to-day bhajan, improving my devotional activities. Okay. And then we talk about Krishna conscious life, like how we can do. So Prabhupada used to say that life should be molded in a way that one will have the chance to think about Krishna throughout the day. Like if we can mold our life in a way where we think, so Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that I am the taste of water. So when you drink water, think, okay, this taste which is there, unique taste is the taste is Krishna, right? So if you are thirsty, no matter no matter like what other drink I can serve you, but your thirst will not get quenched unless you really have the water. So water have that unique property that it can quench the thirst. Like you will feel satisfied. Like if you are really thirsty and if I give you, let's say, mango drink or other drink, your thirst will not get quenched. So that taste of water, Krishna says, I am that taste of water. Similarly, when the morning sun rises, Krishna says that first glance sunrise, was first rays which comes, that is me. So everything is actually, Krishna is claiming everything is me, right? So like that. So whenever we relay, go, so let's say we go to a beautiful scenery, we go to some spot where we see beautiful, let's say Niagara Fall. So think that how beautiful this Niagara Fall is, how beautifully the Lord has designed this nature. So if this is so beautiful, how beautiful the spiritual world may be, right? We have no idea about the spiritual world, but if the material world, which is a reflection of spiritual world, is so beautiful, then how the spiritual world would be. So Lord is so creative, so grateful that he has created all these beautiful creatures, beautiful nature, like that. So like that, we try to relate everything with Krishna in that way. We always have the chance to think about Krishna in our day-to-day life. Like in morning, all the devotees actually chant their rounds like Hare Krishna mantra on the beats, Japa beats, and then we perform Aarti. Then if you have time, you can read some verses from Bhagavad Gita and contemplate and internalize them throughout the day. Like let's say you read two verses, that think what Krishna wants to say in these two verses. What can I do to implement those two verses in my life, and what adjustments I need to make, right? And then pray to Prabhupada, to pray for Krishna, pray for that if you have a difficulty, then those obstacles on the path will automatically get removed. So we discuss all this, like while going to office, we can listen to some classes from Prabhupada or some kirtan or some, like engage your mind. Don't leave your mind empty. The moment we keep it empty, then it finds some other engagements. And because our mind is still polluted with the material contamination, it will find some material engagement. So don't let the mind to be empty. It says in English, empty mind is a devil's workshop, right? So definitely it will try to engage something. And one of the biggest distractions is this devices today, right? So same devices which are a distraction, we can use in the service of the Krishna by reading some quotes, or there is an app called Gita Base Reader. I forgot to send the link. I'll send it out on our group. But you can install this Gita Base Reader and open that app, and then you can quickly read some verses quickly. It has all the Vedic literature on one app itself. Then we discuss about how going in a lunchtime, we can go for a walk, and then at the same time, we can do japa during the walk, right? So in evening time, we can come listen some Krishna Katha. There are so many right now on YouTube. There are so many nonsense things, but at the same time, there is so much spiritual content, right, on YouTube. It's only like it's only our free will, like which one we choose. Like I said, like every time we had this option choosing Krishna versus Maya. So that free will or that option, Krishna will never take away from us, that he has given that free will. One of the important things, if you can do, this will definitely change when you cook your meals, offer it to Krishna. That whatever we eat actually has an impact on our consciousness. Not just that, the person who is preparing the meals, what is his or her consciousness, that consciousness goes into the food, and when one takes that food, that consciousness goes inside, right? So that's why it's very, very careful who is preparing. Like if you are preparing with the consciousness of serving the Lord, then it's prasadam bhoga and then offer, then yeah, it's all prasad, and then we take that, then our inclination or our interest towards devotional service increased. While if the person who is cooking, he's preparing with the consciousness that it's a headache for him, or for material gains, or like, for example, why devotees don't prefer to eat uh, outside food, because we don't know who is preparing that food. Now, if that person who is preparing a food has some other consciousness, like he's too much addictive to something, or like not, he's not in good consciousness, then that consciousness, his consciousness will enter food, and when anyone takes that food, that consciousness affects. So food plays a very important role in creating your consciousness, right? So when we prepare food bhoga with the intention of pleasing the Lord Krishna, like I will, let me prepare a nice bhoga and then I'll offer to Radha Krishna and then take it as prasad, then it will increase our devotional service, it will increase our attachment to this. But at the same time, if we don't follow, then Krishna says in chapter 3, if you don't offer food to me, then you are only eating sin. So unknowingly, those who are not offering, they are only eating sin, because there is a sin involved. And when we keep eating like this, then obviously our quota of sins increases. And then we know, like, because if there are more sins, then we go in the lower planetary system, and we may take birth in the lower species of life. So someone has to suffer. So like that. So eating prasad is very important. That's why just by eating prasad, one can become Krishna conscious. Prabhupada used to say, just when we feed people prasad, their consciousness changes. And there are so many instances, people start coming to ISKCON temple for a like evening free meal, right? And but just by eating that prasad, because they don't know that this is prasad. This is not a just ordinary meal which you get in a temple. This is a prasad which has been offered to, prepared by devotees, offered to Krishna with love and devotion, and then it's served to everyone. That's why in any of the, you can say, programs, we never outsource this part of cooking prasad, right? No matter how much labor, how much expense we have to do, we devotees do it by themselves, because this part, it cannot be compromised. Like someone other day was saying, like we just recently had Rath Yatra, like we prepared prasad for, like, say 1,500 people. So why can't we give it to some restaurant or some caterer? Because we don't know what is the standard of that caterer, whether he's chanting. So typically devotees prepare prasad after they complete their chanting, and then they go and prepare prasad. So that's why, and even when the prasad is being prepared or cooked, there is some background Hare Krishna Kirtan going on in the kitchen. So the consciousness is that we are preparing this for the pleasure of Lord and his devotees, and that consciousness then pleases the Lord, and then it's given, the food is put in a nice plate, and then bhoga is prepared, and then they serve to the Lord, and then we take it as prasad. Okay. So while even honoring the prasad, we can hear some Krishna Katha or watch something related to devotional, because if we watch some other activities, like many people has this habit of watching television while taking prasad, it's okay. But if you watch something spiritual, then that goes along when you're taking. But if you are watching something negative or some serial which has a lot of other emotions, then you are actually unknowingly, your consciousness is getting impacted, because when we are taking food inside, whatever goes inside the conscious, whatever we are watching, whatever thoughts at that time we are having, that also impacts our consciousness. Okay, so and then we discussed that while we are going to the bed, then we can read stories from Krishna book. There is a nice book, Krishna book, which Prabhupada wrote, which is the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. It has all the 90 pastimes about the Lord Krishna, what all things he did in Vrindavan, Dwarka, Mathura, all everything is there. And children like it when parents read these stories to them, and then when children are grown up, then they can read by themselves. Prabhupada used to say during the bed, if you read something about Krishna, then there is a very high possibility that Krishna may come in your dreams also. Like one may get darshan of Krishna in the dreams because you are sleeping with the consciousness of remembering some pastime about Krishna. There is very high chance that you will get, and then when one sleeps with the consciousness that I have to get up in the morning and again chant my rounds or do some service, then the sleep also becomes a devotional activity. Otherwise, sleep is considered a ignorance. Like sleep, it's a ignorance. It's a mode of ignorance, but it can be devotional if we sleep with the proper consciousness. And before that, what we do is important. So like that we discuss, and then we discuss about the glories of Hare Krishna mantra, that all the scriptures come to this conclusion that this Hare Krishna mantra is, that's why it's called Maha Mantra, because it has Lord Krishna has put all his spiritual potency in this Maha Mantra. In this age of Kali, actually, Krishna, we can say Krishna has incarnated in his holy name. Krishna Kare Naam Rupe Krishna Avatar. Krishna has taken the form in the holy name. Okay, so this age of Kali, this is the only way. And this is coming from Brahmaji. Then this verse coming from Narad, who is the Maharshi Narad, that in this age of quarrel, hypocrisy only means is chanting of holy name of the Lord. No other way, no other way, no other way. So like that we discussed. So now let's discuss if there are any questions on this. First of all, I want to see if you have any questions or you want to on this Yukta Vairagya or the practical application. Floor is now open for you to say something or ask questions or comment, or if you have something to share, how you are trying to change something, or you are successful in doing something.